Okay, welcome to another bonus episode of the Podcrastinators. This is 2 bonus episodes in a row.
Yep, consider you guys lucky. It's been a good week for movies and good week for games, but
Yep.
Pikmin, just really quick. Pikmin 4, yes. Bayonetta 3, yes. Resident Evil 8 DLC, oh my god, yes.
And Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
And Zelda, how could I forget Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? And we just came back from watching Barbarian, the last episode that came out, which was it was surprisingly good.
Yes, you should watch the movie and then go listen to our episode.
Exactly right. And today, Cameron and I went and saw Clerks 3, the third trilogy now of the Clerks movies by Kevin Smith.
Spoilers ahead for this movie.
Indeed. Yep. Good call. Just really quick before we start, I wanted to mention one of the first, when Cameron and I first became friends way fucking back, like almost a decade ago now, as crazy as that is. One of the directors, our friendship evolved. We became friends because we realized we were both super into movies, and Cameron threw me onto this one director named Kevin Smith, who he was a fanatic about.
Yes.
And I was able to get on that train earlier than most people. It just keeps growing and growing, his brand and his movies. But like, I watched Chasing Amy, Clerks, all Dogma, all the classics. So coming to see this was pretty cool, and it was a good movie. Kevin Smith that rarely I don't know. I wouldn't say he ever really disappointed me.
Yeah, his recent movies have been kind of divisive, but like, the way I look at Kevin Smith movies is kind of the same way I look at Marvel movies, is like, even if it's not that great, like, I'm still gonna find something to enjoy with it. And you kind of introduced this well, but like, for me, Kevin Smith, well, there was other things that like got me into movies and stuff, but after I saw Clerks, that was when I realized, like, okay, I want to make a movie someday. Like, and like, watching Clerks for the first time, and just it makes you realize that like it's possible, and now it's even more accessible to be a filmmaker. So yeah,
no, it's a really good point you bring up. It is an inspiring story. Like, the movie into itself is like, it's such a dumb, simple idea, but just the fact that if someone's passionate about something, it can be a movie.
Yeah,
like
working in a convenience store. Who would think that that's a good plot for a movie? But like, it has to all be about the characters, right? Like, the characters have to be good enough to carry it. Like, you could make a movie about anything, just as long as the characters are compelling, as long as you like want to follow these characters.
That's a very, very good point. But yeah, very entertaining movie. I will say, as someone who is not too big into comedies, I did find myself laughing quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like it's been a long ass time since I've actually like laughed out loud in a theater.
Like, multiple times too. Yeah, it's normally like one joke, and I'm like, that was kind of funny. But watching this, I was like, that was a good scene.
I feel like most movies or comedies or whatever, even movies, I feel like you could even put like Marvel movies in the comedy slot now. Yeah. But I feel like most of the time the jokes will just get up from me, like just a blow of air out of the nose. Like,
yeah. Exactly. Like, but in this, there was a lot of really good scenes. Jay always makes me laugh in every single movie, dude. He's so funny. He's so funny. He's so like, just good. Naturally raw, being just fucking weird. Like, this not convenience store, just the drug dealer.
And the crazy thing too is that like, Kevin Smith says it all the time. You can listen to all of his podcasts, but like, when he wrote the character of Jay, he was basing it off of Jason Mewes. And like, it's funny, like, he's so good at playing that character because like, that's literally him.
Dude, he's a character. I love him.
He's so good.
I so just like last time, Cameron very sneakily and incognito, you could say, wrote down a bunch of notes.
Yeah, I was taking notes during this movie.
And as someone who is, I'm sure you had a lot of different things. I'm curious to hear more about what you have to say about this movie, because as much as I love Kevin Smith, I know your fans' love towards him goes a little bit deeper than I.
Well, like I said, I feel like Clerks is a huge inspiration for me. And like, I used to go around telling people that like Clerks is my favorite movie. I don't know if I would still say that that's the case. Just because the way I've more like recently I've been trying to think of like the movies that I really like are ones that I would watch over and over. I don't think, to be honest, Clerks is one of those movies that I could watch forever. You know, there's that classic, like, you're stuck on an island, you have one movie to watch for the rest of time. Like, to be honest, I don't think that would be Clerks, but like, Clerks still has like that really special place for me, I guess. But
no, I completely understand that.
Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, so we saw this as it's one of those like Fathom events things, because how this movie is being released is just for 2 nights only. There's one of those Fathom event things at a theater, and then Kevin Smith is taking this on tour. And I was wondering, have you ever been to many of these like Fathom events things? Like,
if I have, it was 1,000,000% because of an anime movie. But I don't know if I have been, because I don't know. I mean, I know back in the day when they like released some anime stuff, like when Boruto came out, maybe not even, I don't know. But I see the Studio Ghibli stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to do, or like when they released the thing. But I definitely don't have any immediate knowledge or past experiences that are readily available in my minds.
Yeah,
so I don't think so.
I feel like I always see the advertisements for it before the movies, and I'm like, that would be really fun, and then I just never remember it.
Exactly.
But I do remember you and me saw The Killing Joke in high school when they did the Fathom events thing for that. That's the one where Batman fucks Batgirl.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so we saw that.
I don't remember seeing that in theaters. That's funny.
And then I saw Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which he did a similar thing for. But yeah, this is only the 3 times I've done that.
It sucks that it's not a larger theatrical release, but I feel like it's in tune with him, you know?
Yeah.
And I do like, because even all right, so I will, if you go see the movie, or if you have seen it, if you didn't know, there's a whole thing at the end of the after credits where he talks about like the production of it, which is really cool, really heartwarming to see. But one of the things he was talking about so much was just like how much he does love how like free he is with it.
Yeah.
And I think like just the fact that he's kept with that, even though he's like being helped by bigger entities now, like Lionsgate and stuff, but back in the day, it really was just like primarily on his own back, you know, like releasing everything.
And I feel like another thing that I think is really inspiring to me in my own creative process about Kevin Smith is that he's always talking about like he is making the movies that he wants to make. Like he doesn't really care if anybody else like really wants to go see it or likes the movies. Like as long as he likes the movie that he's making, like he's happy with it. Like he especially talked about that a lot when like Tusk and Yoga Hosers came out and completely bombed.
I completely forgot about Yoga Hosers. What a weird fucking movie.
Side note, did you know the guy that plays Elvis in the Elvis movie is in Yoga Hosers?
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking Justin Long. This is the second movie in a row that we've seen where Justin Long stars in, and he was great in both.
Yeah.
He made me laugh in this movie. when he was like, I've seen a lot of small dicks. Trust me, I work in pediatrics.
Yep, I wrote that down. That's one of my notes.
That was such a good joke. I was cracking up with that.
That was a good joke. Well, I know we talked about this in our. Oh, it's not out yet. Never mind. We talked about this in a future episode of the Podcrastinators, but like, it's really cool to see when like directors bring back people that they've worked with, so you have like the little cameo thing. Like it's cool to see them like that they like keep their community together, I guess. And then as fans, it's nice to like notice that cameo, you know. It's kind of fun. And Justin Long, have you seen Tusk?
I don't know if I've seen all of it. I think I might have skipped through some scenes, but yeah, I know Tusk.
And Justin Long is the main character.
Is he the
Tusk.
main character? I did not know that.
I
guess I just that movie's not in my. For those who don't know, it's about a man who takes another man and turns him into a walrus.
Yep.
It's about it's kind of like in the same vein as The Fly, I guess, kind of like body horror.
Okay, another side note. In college, I told our coach, I told him to watch Tusk. Like I told him it was a good movie and he should watch it. And then he watched it. And then after that, he told me he was never gonna take any of my movie recommendations.
You're like, God damn, come on, man.
I know. Then that's when I had to get really conservative with what my movie suggestions to people were. Like, okay, are they actually gonna like this movie?
That's fucking awesome. I love that.
So the next note that I have was that at the beginning of the Fathom events thing, Kevin Smith comes on and he's like, thanks for coming to watch this. Like, couldn't do this without the fans and all that. And he's like, this is the conclusion to the Clerks saga, I guess. And I wrote down that everybody says this, right? That like whatever their next project is going to be is the conclusion. Like,
yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back was supposed to be the conclusion. Then Clerks 2 was supposed to be the conclusion. Then Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was supposed to be the conclusion.
There's just no way someone who's that passionate about movie and the art of like making movies, as long as he's alive, he's going to be doing something, right?
Exactly.
Well, wasn't he? Or I guess this is definitely not like part of his grand like this is what I want to do. But didn't I think it was you who told me he was writing for He-Man?
Yeah, he may have written it.
Or some episodes at the very least.
I don't know if he's a producer or a writer. But I don't know what. All I know is that he was involved in the Netflix He-Man show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
mean, at the very least, we'll see something like that, right?
Yeah,
maybe. I have a feeling there's no way he doesn't release another movie. How old is he now?
I think he's late 40s is my guess. I don't
he's
know
got
for sure.
Like maybe 2 or 3 movies left in him, I bet.
Well, I was about to bring this up too, but I don't know all those specifics and details. I literally just saw a headline, but something about Kevin Smith confirms Tusk 2.
Oh no. Oh Lord.
So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I hope, like we said before, Jay is such a good character. Like, I hope there's some more Jay and Silent Bob stuff. And to be honest, there probably will be.
Oh yeah, dude, I have my so when I got I inherited a bunch of crazy comics from my dad who collected during the Bronze Age. For all Cameron's a comic nut, so you know he's definitely the person to go for it. But I did inherit some nuts comics, like old Frank Miller stuff. And when I went to the comic book store, I needed to get a new box, and like I was like looking around in there, and he's like, what box do you want? And I just looked up on the wall and saw the Secret Stash Jay and Silent Bob box, and I was like, I'll take that one.
Yes, it's so good. In the animated style too, from the season, from the one season of Clerks animated.
Yeah.
And did you notice in the movie too, on Jay's hat he has a pin, and on the pin is like it's the mayor from the show of the Clerks animated show.
I did not notice that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That was also
there's so much interconnect. I mean, I guess you get that when you build this whole world over the course of however many movies, right? I also love how Ben Affleck is always in it too, because like for such A-lister actor nowadays, I mean, I don't know about when he first started if he was still in it, but like it's just kind of cool to see like he's still like, yeah, I want to help Kevin Smith. Or be a part of it in some way, shape, or manner.
The crazy thing about that too is that like I'm pretty sure Mallrats was one of Ben Affleck's like first movies, and that was like I think kind of where he like broke into the scene. Also, side note, that was also the first movie that Stan Lee cameoed in was Mallrats.
First ever.
Yeah. First Stan Lee cameo.
Wow.
And then so Kevin Smith actually lives in one of like Ben Affleck's houses. Like whenever Ben Affleck moved out, Kevin Smith just like moved in, which is interesting.
That's funny.
He always tells on his podcast that he tells the joke that like the tour guides will go by and like, oh, this is Ben Affleck's house, and then Kevin Smith will walk out and people will be like, oh, you fucking liar.
That's funny.
But I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck kind of had like a falling out for a little bit, and that's why Ben Affleck wasn't in a bunch of his stuff. And then in Jay and Silent Bob reboot, they like kind of made up a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a really good moment in Jay and Silent Bob reboot where like they with Ben Affleck with them like coming back. Now that together.
You mention it, I don't know if I've seen Jay and Silent Bob. How many Jay and Silent Bob live actions are there?
There's 2. There's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and then Reboot.
I don't think I've seen Reboot. I think I've only seen Strikes Back. That's the one with the monkey.
Yeah.
In the laboratory. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm gonna butcher the quote. This could be taken out of context. So good though. The one scene that makes me laugh harder than any scene, like in any movie, is the one where he's talking to fucking Silent Bob about picking up women or something. And he's like, you don't know how to do it. And he like yells at this guy. He's like, hey, baby, can I lick your asshole?
No, he goes, hey, baby, you ever had a fat man in an overcoat lick your asshole? Or something like that.
That's what it was. Yeah. No, you're completely right. He's like, hey, baby, you have a fat man in a long overcoat.
Yep.
That's the part that gets me. Oh, I love that scene so much.
I love that movie too. And Jay has the same line in this movie where he's like, I am the clit commander. That's so good too.
God, we haven't talked. It's hard. It's a funny movie. I know you have a little more to say, but like it's just like I feel like at this point this has just become like a
Kevin Smith blow our load.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was also thinking like there's so many references to Clerks in this movie. Like there's no way we could do a Clerks 1 episode and like have anything to talk about because I'm pretty much just going to say it all now.
Very true. Know? Very true. Yeah, maybe in the future it'd be like a Kevin Smith episode or something. Yes. Where I just watch 3 or we both watch 3 different Kevin Smith movies.
That would be fun. Well, on our ever-growing list of the Podcrastinators.
Which you can help add to if you comment on our YouTube channel.
Yes. Or our social media.
Anything.
I put the one Kevin Smith movie that I haven't seen is Cop Out. And I put that in the bad movies.
Okay, sweet.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's considered like his worst movie. So
I'd be happy to watch it.
Yeah, me too. Sweet. I'm happy to watch anything Kevin Smith. Okay, so maybe we can do like a rapid fire here really quick because I have a bunch of shit. We're only on the 4th point.
Go ahead, rapid fire.
So I liked at the very beginning when Dante like gets out and is opening the shutters for the quick stop, he like scrapes the gum off of the locks to be able to open it. And I thought that was a good like we've evolved, you know, because in the first one there's the gum in the locks and then they close the shutters, and then they also mention it in this movie, they write it in that like so basically we'll just give you the quick plot rundown is Dante and Randall are working in the convenience store. Randall has a heart attack and he decides I've done nothing with my life, I'm going to shoot a movie, which is
That is the Kevin Smith story, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll get there.
Okay.
So when they were shooting the original Clerks movie, they could only do it at night because the people that own the convenience store had to keep it open during the day. And so they said you could only shoot at night. So Kevin Smith wrote the part with the gum in the lock so that they could keep the shutters closed and shoot at night so people would still think it was like a daytime shot, but so that they could have the shutters closed the whole time.
The art of filmmaking.
I know.
That's really cool, actually. That is a good little homage.
Oh yeah. Okay. So like you mentioned, the heart attack story is a thing that happened to Kevin Smith. He was on the road doing like a comedy special for Showtime, and usually when they shoot the comedy specials, like stand-up, you know, like you've got your Netflix and Comedy Central stand-up things, there usually is 2 or 3 shows that they will do, and they'll record all of them. But then when they put it together in the edit, they'll edit together all of the like best versions of it, right? Like the best audience reactions, the best delivery.
Yeah.
So he was recording a stand-up special for Showtime, and after he finished the first like run through of it, he like started feeling not that great, and then turns out he's having a heart attack. And like the exact same thing that happened to him happened to Randall in the movie, where like it was the Widowmaker thing. Like he had 100% blockage in the one artery that they call the Widowmaker, and where like 80% of the people that die. And the way that Kevin Smith tells the story was like literally word for word of how the doctor was giving the lines in Clerks 3. Like,
really?
Oh, you're going to be the 20% because I'm such a good doctor, you know, like.
Huh.
And then even the name of the doctor, the Dr. Leidenheim, was, I can't remember if it's either the doctor that actually did surgery on him for the heart attack or if it's Kevin Smith's like heart doctor, but like the name of the doctor was based on his like real life doctor.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Here's I have the work in pediatrics. And then so in the movie when they put the stent in and open up his artery and he like takes the deep breath, you know, the pressure's still released, and then they start playing the song of the children singing like, whatever it takes, I know we can make it through.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Smith, when he tells the story of him having a heart attack, he said that like he had that song playing in his head during his heart attack because he was like, I know I can make it through, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was another like awesome addition to the movie.
There's so much stuff that you can enjoy on a deeper level as a fan with his stuff.
But like, to be honest, when we were sitting there at the beginning of the movie, I was honestly not enjoying it that much because I was like, okay, I know everything that's about to happen. Yeah. But then once they like actually started getting into like him shooting the movie, and then like, I don't know, that like wave of nostalgia kind of hit me with Clerks.
Yeah.
That's what I got a little bit more into it, to be honest.
It definitely was a wave of nostalgia. Definitely a heartwarming movie in a weird way. By the end of it, I felt inspired to make a movie. Like, yeah. I really did. I was like, damn, dude. Cameron and I at some point will be out there in the future, and then you guys can come back and listen to this podcast and be like, wow, those two guys that made that awful shitty movie used to have a podcast.
Yeah. I agree. I really liked the scene with the auditions. That was a good point where Kevin Smith got to put all of his friends in it and they got to make jokes, you know.
Yeah.
With they had, like you said, Ben Affleck, and then he has another podcast with the one guy, I can't think of his name, Ralph Garman. He was the guy that was doing all the impersonations during that audition sequence, which was good. The only part that I did not think was funny was the D's nuts. That was a little cringe.
D's nuts.
And then the people, the fucking white trash people in front of us thought that part was hilarious.
Like, yes. That was so weird. Yeah, the minute we walked in, they like looked at both of us and were like, "You guys ready for this?" And we're like, yeah.
What are you gonna do to us?
Like, please just leave us alone.
Well,
I mean, they enjoyed the movie. See, that is also
this was the best audience we've had for a movie in like 4 movies.
Exactly. Yeah, most everybody stayed for the entire credits. There was the one person wearing the New Jersey Devils hockey jersey, just like Jay does.
Kevin Smith.
Oh no, yeah, there was another Kevin Smith jersey, wasn't there? Yeah. So everybody there was fans, and it was a loud theater, but you know, like, as considering off of what I ranted about in the last podcast, this one was appropriate for it. You know, like, even though those, we call it like the white, so judgmental.
Come on, they were white trash.
The fucking white trash people in front of us were super loud and like, but it was fine. You know?
They were just reacting to the movie.
Yeah, they were like enjoying the movie. Yeah,
it's not like they were having their own side conversation or anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, white trash people, for calling you white trash.
Yeah, maybe you weren't white trash. Maybe you just. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop there. I'm gonna save myself here.
So I also like the whole conversation about Star Wars and like who Dante was in relation to Randall's life, and I was like, oh god, are they gonna say he's Princess Leia? And like,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, you're Dak. Like, he's the one that thinks that he can take on the Empire all by himself. And just dies. I thought that was awesome. Like,
that was pretty funny. And the minute he says Dak, it took me a moment. He's like, the guy in the Starspeeder. I was like, oh yeah, I do remember Dak.
That's another like great thing about the way Kevin Smith writes like the pop culture dialogue is it's not like what everyone
every single
will know.
fucking
With the Marvel movies where Tony Stark's like, okay, Squidward.
Yeah.
You know, like
ha 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 ha.
You can tell Kevin Smith is
Did you know that? Well, I guess he does pick up Mjolnir, but it's just like all like the Watch Mojo trivia and stuff.
Exactly. But like you can tell Kevin Smith is like an actual fan of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like that just makes it even so much better.
Yeah, like if we were to write something, you would write about like the comic that shows Batman's dick or something.
God damn! Why do I have to write the comic about Batman?
Not because you knew about it. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I will say at the comic book store that was on the wall for $300. So
it's an expensive piece of art.
It's an expensive piece of art for sure. So another thing that I picked up on was when fucking Randall has the line where he's like, I'll be the retail Richard Linklater. And that's a reference to Kevin Smith. He always tells the story of like what inspired him to make Clerks was Richard Linklater's Slacker. He said that he always says that like when he saw Richard Linklater's Slacker in the theaters, because Richard Linklater did the exact same thing of like he just had a camera and got his friends and made a movie. And when Kevin Smith saw Slacker, he was like, you know what? I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that was a good thing. And then, so when they're shooting the movie, there were a lot of references to things that happen in Clerks. So this is why I say that we can never do an episode of this focus on Clerks now, because I'm about to say all my Clerks facts. But so when fucking Jay is trying to deliver that line like there are a million fucking girls in this world, but none of them will bring you lasagna, and like he just couldn't get the line right.
Yeah.
So then Silent Bob ends up delivering the line, and that's how it is in the actual Clerks movie. Like when they were recording it, Jay just could not get the line right, and then so Kevin Smith was like, you know what, I'll just fucking do it, and then like it ended up like completely working out because
and
it was
changing
like,
Jay's whole character, right? Because isn't that the only time he speaks, and then that became like a motif throughout the movies?
Yeah, where like if Silent Bob is gonna speak, it's gonna be something really important. You know? I liked his actual line in the movie too, when like shooting it in black and white.
Yeah, that's right.
That almost sounded like a review of Clerks. Like I wonder if that was like like one of the first reviews of Clerks that somebody wrote. Like, oh, the fact that it's in black and white makes you feel like you're watching it through a CCTV camera situated in the store.
And meanwhile, Kevin Smith is just there like, no, it's because I was fucking poor as shit.
Yeah, that's all I could afford was to shoot it in black and white. And then same thing with like, you know, when they were trying to shoot Jay dancing and he wouldn't dance with anybody actually watching, that actually happened on the set of Clerks. Like,
really?
In that exact scene of Jay dancing, he wouldn't do it if anybody was watching. So they literally just like had to hit record and then like run away because he didn't want anybody to watch him.
How that fucking meta is shit, dude.
I know. And so a little inaccuracy that I picked up on Kevin Smith was, so when they were showing all the black and white sequences of them shooting the movie, it's in film. You can see the film grain. But then when they show them shooting from the camera, you know, it says digital camera on the top of it. It's not a film camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
0 out of 10.
Honestly, I bet
That's a nitpick.
Would it be
sure,
more expensive to buy a film camera now than it would be to buy a digital camera?
I'm not sure. I actually don't know what like camera prices are, but like the thing that makes shooting on film expensive is like the actual film.
Yeah. It checks
and
out.
Getting it developed and stuff.
I don't know. My mind was just thinking like synthesizers or something. Like old synthesizers now are like, oh yeah, those could be like I don't know. That's why my mind going off in a
Yeah,
different
that makes
direction.
sense. That makes sense. Well, also, it's also like they definitely don't make film cameras as much as they do with the digital cameras. So like they're definitely harder to come by. So they probably are more expensive, to be honest.
Well, who knows?
Yeah. We'll find that out when we start making our movies.
Exactly.
I liked when they do show the actual camera, though, that there's like the hockey stick taped to it. Like it was like almost one of the legs of the tripod.
Yep.
And that made me think of like us trying to shoot the fucking Pokemon card opening video with like just all the gorilla shit you got to do when you have no budget.
Which will be out on my channel, Darth Boopy.
Yes, please watch it.
At some point in the future, this will definitely come out before. But yeah, we literally had my mic that we're recording on right now. It's a shitty little.
It's not shitty.
It gets the job.
It's a little
done.
workhorse.
It's a little workhorse. It's the old tired horse who plows the fields every day. But we literally had it connected on my little boom arm thing to a fucking bar stool and then our light was like on top of a coffee table on top of a chair
to get it at the right height.
Yep. And it was just, we also had a whole fiasco with the lighting. But it ended up working out. But like, it was, you were right during the process of it. You're like, this is like weirdly enough the fun part of it, just like figuring out how you're gonna do it and like how it changes due to your limitations, right?
Exactly. So we already talked about the shutters being closed. Oh, so every time that Randall would be like, we're making my movie, all that, I couldn't help but think about, I'm sure Kojima isn't like this, but I was just thinking about how like in the opening credits for like all the Metal Gear Solid games, it just is like,
Hideo Kojima mid-game.
Written by Hideo Kojima.
Produced by Hideo Kojima. Soundtrack hand-selected by Hideo Kojima.
Like his name is just all over it.
Yep.
But I can't remember who said it. It might have actually been Kevin Smith, but don't quote me on this. But there was a director that said that he never puts like a Kevin Smith film on it, because he does it like, it's not like just him working on it, like you have the giant crew behind you. Like it's not just the director's film, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I'd be okay if we put both of our names on the movie.
Yeah. I agree. So then, so spoilers, like we said, when Dante has his heart attack and Randall goes home and he's like looking at all the pictures on the wall. This was another negative that I had with the movie, was it felt very film school to me. Like in a couple of the senior films in my class that we worked on, like there were like multiple people that had shots of, it looked very similar of them like looking at pictures on the wall
like touching it with their hand and being like, I remember.
Yeah, like I don't know, that felt a little bit film school to me, but okay. And then so later when Randall's trying to get into the hospital to see Dante, and he's like, I need a distraction, and he gets Jay and Silent Bob to create the distraction, and Jay runs through and he's like, I took a poo in the ICU, and like you could see all of the like security people chasing him were also laughing. Like,
really?
I thought that was awesome. Like they were all just like smiling, chasing him. Like
I didn't notice that.
I'm sure they just like also thought it was so funny when they were shooting it. I actually liked that part.
Yeah, no, that's fine to leave in, right? Like, That's cool. I do like that.
And then the funeral home, spoilers, Dante dies, and then there's the funeral home, and I think that is the funeral home from the first Clerks movie when they
knock over
the casket. But in the original Clerks movie, there is no sequence of them actually going into the funeral home because they couldn't get permission from the funeral home to shoot in there. So it like in Clerks, it like shows them pulling up to the funeral home and then walking in, and then it like does the SpongeBob cutaway to like 2 minutes later. And then it shows them running out getting chased by people because they didn't actually have permission to shoot inside the funeral home.
Huh.
But I think that was the same funeral home.
Now, like, oh wow, you got money. Now you can do it. You don't care about your artistic integrity, but you got, now that you're a big Hollywood Mr. Movie Man, come on in.
Exactly. And then I just really like that they mentioned this in the documentary at the end where they were like how did they get all these non-actors back from the original Clerks movie? Like all of the original people came back, like the Chuli's gum guy, like the guy that the cat freaking pooped in front of, like even just like all the extras, like they said it, how'd they even get all the non-actors back? That's crazy. That's so cool.
That is extremely cool.
But yeah, in the credits they have Jay's Twitch. Like, check out his Twitch stream.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I didn't know he had a Twitch. I might check it out.
Mm-hmm. I actually haven't checked it out either, but I might also check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so, okay, so one of the movies that we're watching for the Nicolas Cage season is unable to be found on streaming or anywhere. Like, I don't want to give away the movie just yet because
that's part of the episode.
That's part of the episode that you have to listen to. But you can't find it anywhere. You can only watch it as the physical copy. And one of Kevin Smith's movies, Dogma, I think is the same way. You can only watch it as a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious. I do own the physical copy of Dogma. So I looked it up. How much do you think the physical copy of Dogma is?
You're shitting me. There's actually like what's a normal price for a movie? Like $20?
No, so I looked up Dogma Blu-ray on Amazon.
I'm gonna go $80. $200?
I know, dude. When I bought it, I literally bought it on Amazon, and I bought it for $30.
Wow.
Now it's $200.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's an up for today.
I know.
Dogma's $200.
Dogma is $200.
We should do an episode on Dogma and call it the $200 movie.
Yes, we should do that.
You get all right. We've been going for a while. We've been getting pretty good at. We just get lost in conversation, which is good. We hope you guys have been enjoying.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna make the title of this "But Thieves."
But Thieves, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good joke
from the movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else?
No, I really enjoyed it. I was a little skeptical going in because I was like, "Oh no, like, what if this movie's bad?" Like, But like I said, like, no matter what, I'm gonna have some sort of enjoyment with Kevin Smith movies. I was also worried, like, oh, what if it's bad and we have to record a podcast and then I'm on record saying I don't like this Kevin Smith movie, and then he's gonna hear it and then he's gonna hate me forever. But I really enjoyed it. It was very good. I was getting choked up at the end when Dante
I got
died.
Choked up too, honestly. So yeah, it pulled at the heartstrings for sure.
When it can make you feel feelings.
Yep. So yeah, great movie. We hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you don't know that much about Kevin Smith, I know Cameron would agree with me in that you guys should definitely give him a little look at, or think about looking into him a little bit. He has a wild film career. My personal favorite movie is Chasing Amy.
Yeah, I would say definitely check out the original Clerks and Chasing Amy.
Yep, at the very least. And he also has at least 12 podcasts, so you can definitely get any content from him that you want. He also had that old show on AMC, wasn't it?
Comic Book Men, yeah. And so those guys actually, Kevin Smith owns a comic book store in New Jersey, and those guys all work in the comic book store, and they were in the hockey scene at the beginning. I think that it would be fun I really want to go to New Jersey and go to his comic book store and go to the Quick Stop.
Those might be the only two things I want to see in Jersey.
Yeah, I agree. No, I completely agree.
Sorry, Jersey get people out there, but your state sucks.
I think there's also a secret stash in California. That's the name of his comic book store, is Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Sweet. Well, we really hope you guys enjoyed listening.
Listen to The Wicker Man this week.
Yep, listen to The Wicker Man this week. And as always, Cam and I love doing this. We have a lot of fun. And we super appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen to our stuff. We super greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
and
thank you so much.
yeah, until next time, everybody, you have a good one.
Bye-bye.